welcome back to another figure unboxing and review. I am so happy, so happy to finally have the Alter scale figure of Umi from Love Live here in my hands. So obviously this figure of Umi is part of the specific line of Alter figures that they have for the rest of the girls. Some are still being released, some have already been released. This falls into the series with like Christmas Nico, Halloween Maki, Sailor Hanayo, those sorts of figures. So I'm so excited to finally have Umi. Now, Umi was actually supposed to be released back in June, but because of conflicting releases, Alter actually had to delay Umi. She didn't release until August, so now it's September, and I am finally unboxing her. So this figure is a 1/7 figure. I have not gotten a proper 1/7 figure in a while, so kind of like right off the bat when I looked at this figure, I'm like, holy crap, she looks really like big for a figure. But I have to remember that I haven't been getting proper scale figures. I've been getting like Kotobukiya or Nendoroids, so this is kind of like finally I'm back into large scale figures. I ended up purchasing Umi, pre-ordering Umi from Ami, and the total with this shipping cost me about $119 Canadian, I believe, and the shipping was airmail small packet. And she actually arrived within like 2-3 weeks, which I think is about the estimated time, and I think max amount of time is 5 weeks. But that can vary from country to country and different areas in Canada and that sort of thing. So I have my trusty box cutter, so I'm going to finally open this figure box. The box itself isn't anything too fancy. It does have a lot of nice sparkles on it, and obviously photos of the figure itself. So I mean, it's pretty standard for what it is. I'm not too like blown away by it, let's say, but it's okay. So at first, I was actually hesitant about buying this figure because, like a lot of people had seen with the preview photos, Umi's legs, like, she's knock-kneed for the pose, but a lot of people were saying like she kind of looks like she has to go to the bathroom, which I can understand, but at the same time, like, knock-kneed poses are very common with idols or just like cute poses in general, talking from like a photographer point of view. So I was like, but it's Umi, so I need to get her. Alright, so I have Umi all put together. Basically what took me the longest was putting the microphone together. It's more so because the wire is bendable, which is nice, but it was kind of like flailing all over the place, so I'm like, shit, I can't work this. So taking a quick look off the bat, just taking a look to see if there's any flaws with the design in the hair, on the clothes, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing like any paint transfer. I'm not seeing any scratches or smudges, which is really good. It's more so like quality control at that point, but Alter is well known for their pretty good quality control, so I'm not too surprised. I do want to mention, like, right off the bat, I love this design. I'm so glad they chose actually this outfit for Umi because it's obviously like her color blue, but it just brings everything out in her. It looks so nice and it's so gorgeous. Oh my god, I'm so happy. So with this figure set, because it does come in a set with all of the girls, obviously the base is not going to be anything too extreme. It's basically just like Love Live School Idol Festival with her name on it, Umi Sonoda, and just like the little star diamond patterns. But that's what all the others are, and it's obviously done with their specific colors, and in this case it is blue for Umi. Now, taking a closer look at her posing, I am actually not too unhappy with the knock-kneed pose. At first I was like, oh man, like, yeah, it's going to look super exaggerated, but I find it doesn't look too bad, and I think what helps is that her thighs do have a little bit of a gap there, but they do come together, so it's not like she's really holding her thighs together like she needs to go to the washroom. So I think they executed that pretty well. I like how she actually is up on her tippy toes out of her shoes to like get that pose. I just love how this figure does show motion. So it's basically like Umi jumped up into pose. She's on her tippy toes. The sleeves of her kimono dress that aren't attached to the actual dress are in motion and they're flowing. And then her hair, her beautiful hair, is completely in motion as well. And oh my god, her hair is gorgeous. I'm gonna try not to skip around too much, but I do want to talk about the sculpt. The sculpt of the hair is beautiful. It actually reminds me a lot of my large Monica figure because obviously her hair is very in motion and godlike. But Umi's hair actually looks really nicely done. There's a lot of like strands. It's not like just big clumps of hair molded together. There's a lot of movement going on and I absolutely adore it. I love that it's in 2 pigtails actually, and then she has some hair falling down over her shoulders and then obviously her bangs. So I love the execution of it so far. Moving down to the body itself, for sculpt wise, obviously most of Umi's body is covered by the dress, so you don't see much of that, but looking at like her shoulders and her hands and even like the inside of her hands and her knuckles, they're all like really nicely sculpted. They're not like exaggerated what a male figure would have, but very, very nice, very smooth, but detailed enough that you're like, this is an amazing quality figure. I'm going to touch on the details of the dress and just the figure in general. So the headpiece actually does have a little bit of sparkle jewels on it, just to like give it that extra dimension. The dress itself is gorgeous. It has little scallops of lace basically to make the borders of the dress, and there's little tiny indentations into the bows on her sleeves and on her socks, and again, those are in motion as well. If you look closer at the sleeves themselves, past the colored flowers, so like the purple, blue, and orange, you'll see very light white details of flowers as well. So again, it adds to that dimension of the figure that really makes it pop. And every time you look at a figure like this, you're like, oh, I'm finding more and more details that I didn't notice before. I also really like that they added a clear layer underneath her skirt. That's like, clear PVC on figures for me is just like that extra added bonus, and it's really gorgeous if it's executed correctly. And in this case, they did it really well. It's just popping out enough that you see it, but it's not in your face and distracting from the rest of the figure. Also, another small detail, if you look closely at the fan on Umi's back, there is small gold glitter amongst the fan and on the front and back actually. And I will say that I'm pretty sure the fan does not come out. I don't want to test it because I don't want to break the figure, but I am fairly certain it does not come out. I think it looks okay where it is. I really wish it would come out because then you could put that in her hand as well as the microphone or switch it up. The only negative thing I have to say about this figure, and it's the smallest thing, is that if you manhandle, I want to say, the wire for the microphone, it can get kind of messed up. It's the simplest term I can say. It just doesn't look as smooth as it does coming out of the packaging, so if you can try and not touch it as much as possible, awesome. But if you're trying to put it into her hand where there is a small spot to pop it in and then try and adjust it, you might end up with something similar to mine where it's not as crisp and clean when it first came out of the packaging. So that is it for this figure review and unboxing. If you guys have any questions about anything I touched on, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments down below and I'll definitely answer them. Also, if you have any information on this figure or just in general that I didn't say or didn't touch on, leave them in the comments as well, because I know sometimes I kind of gloss over things and get really wrapped up in the unboxing. So like I said, if there's anything missing, leave it down below as well. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't be afraid to subscribe to my channel and check out more of these videos in the links shown at the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!